Okay, and after that period, they haven't met the criteria, then we begin the dismissal process. Okay, Wood, does that conflict with what you learnt in the Fair Work videos?
Yeah.
Conflict with it?
Yeah.
In what
No.
way?
Doesn't conflict.
It doesn't?
Work
Well, one
that
bit
right.
does, a bit we've got to stop it, we investigate
Yeah.
and consult.
Yeah.
That's not law, that's just what we do as policy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But it's just the right thing to do, it's just smart.
Yeah.
In that way we can avoid being sued.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do the right thing as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the employee, they have rights as well. Something else you would have picked up from the video. And those rights are they have the right to have support in a meeting. They can bring someone in, but they're not there as their proxy. They're only there to give support. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So can you see the difference?
Yeah.
What would that mean? What would that entail? So a proxy, what's being a proxy all about?
Well, the other one's only there to support,
That's right, yeah.
and they're not to say anything.
Yeah.
And just if they need to say anything, they can always say it to the person that's involved with it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
That's
give
exactly
them the
right.
support for them.
Exactly. Whereas a proxy is someone who comes in,
Yeah.
they do all the talking,
Yeah.
and the other person basically put in the corner,
Yeah.
which isn't right either.
No.
Okay, so that's one of the rights. The person who is under review also has the right to refute the claims.
Mm-hmm.
They can disagree and they can make that quite clear, but they have to back it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also have the right to, they need to be told when the meeting is about to be, is going to commence, and they need sufficient time to prepare for that meeting. So they can basically bring their side of the story. Okay. So they also have the right to lodge an unfair dismissal claim. Perfect right, and we don't have any problems with that. If we're doing something wrong, then we need to clear that up. Okay. Now, if the Ombudsman is involved, if it's deemed that an unfair dismissal has occurred and the Ombudsman is involved, then the person who was dismissed has a right to be re-employed, or they have the right for recompense. And recompense can take place in terms of financial, where we may reimburse them for lost pay. It may come to litigation, hopefully not, but that's something we would have to look at. And it may involve a letter of apology. That has to be discussed with the Ombudsman and the person in question, and we need to come to an agreement. Doesn't mean we say, yes, that's exactly what we're going to do, we'll give you everything you want. Not necessarily the case. It has to be discussed. And the Ombudsman is the most appropriate person to have there, so they can give us the both of it, give everyone in the meeting legal consult basically. They can say, yes, that's appropriate, that's reasonable, that's unreasonable, and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically it in a nutshell. So are there any questions at this point?
No, I think
No?
I've covered everything.
Any questions about the video?
No.
None of them?
No.
Okay, so what about some feedback? Any concerns at all?
No.
Do you think
I've
that,
answered it all.
yeah, do you think these things are fair?
Yeah, well, you're investigating and consulting with the person that's having the problem, so then
Yeah.
you've got to work out different things and different ways of fixing that problem. And if they're not happy, well, you've still got to go back and start looking at different things. And like you said, you could be at fault, so then you've got to look back at what you done wrong.
Yep.
And work together and see if you can fix it.
Yep.
So that person's thinking, oh well, I'm going to get the arse.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
But
the other thing too is it's not necessarily just helping them out, helping us out. it helps the whole company out.
Yeah.
It's to the benefit of the company.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. That's where you've got to work out with your counselling and try and work out different ways of trying to fix the problem for you and for the person that's involved.
Yep, all parties,
Yeah.
indeed, absolutely. Okay. Are there any concerns with anything that we have up here? No? It seems reasonable?
Yeah.
It seems right?
So at what part can you bring the union in?
The union in, well, they can
As
come
an
in,
employee,
yes.
they can come into your meeting.
Yeah, they can be your second person in the meeting, they can be your support person. But on top of that, if there are any issues that were not resolved in that meeting, then we could have a separate meeting with the union. Yeah, so we can discuss the matter with the union and their concerns. Because the thing with the union is it doesn't concern one person. It concerns the entire workforce that's involved with the union. So that's a separate matter. But we as a company want that. We want to work with the union. We want to work with everybody involved. We want to work cooperatively. Yeah,
So you have to work out a solution with all of that,
indeed.
with the union and everything. So you've
Yep.
just got to work out the solution, which is the best way to go
Yeah. Well, the bottom
for
line is
everybody involved.
we've got to do what's best for the company. And usually, what is best for the company is not cowtailing to anybody or any groups or anything, but it is about coming to the best solutions,
Yeah.
negotiating, creating what is fair, what is right, and what is effective.
Very good.
And the best way to do that is through consultation and communication.
I was just going to say communication.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, very good.
yeah. Counselling is a big
Yeah.
part of it,
Yeah.
not cancelling.
Well, your communication and all that's got to come into it because communications is the best form of everything, really. If
Indeed.
you don't have that, well, you've got nothing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I like to say, Sandra, with that, the union delegate or the union representative coming to the meeting, we've got to remember they're not there at that time to represent the people. They're there to represent the person, well, not represent the person. They're not there to represent the person. They're not their proxy.
They're a
They're
support
there
for
as
the
a
person.
support to that individual person in the meeting, and basically give them counsel during the meeting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
whereas the union could also act separately again. So in the meeting, it's all about the person, and the union representative is there to support, not to control the meeting. We can deal with that separately, as a separate issue.
Okay.
Yeah? Any
Yeah.
other thoughts?
No?
You happy, Reese? Yeah, makes sense? Okay, no problem.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep,
Oh,
very
thanks for
good.
your help, guys. That's
No
fantastic.
worries.
Yay!
Okay, yay! No questions?
No, we're done
Okay.
and dusted.
Also, there's the books that I provided you with earlier to
Yep.
take home.
Yep.
You'll find some templates in there
Yep.
about how to report issues. It has examples of the KPIs in there, so you can review them.
Good then.
Yeah, and you could also find a lot of the blank sheets on our intranet, and they'll be in a what's the file called? The file has got a name. It's blank submissions.
Okay.
I think is the name of the file in the intranet. So find that, you'll have all of your KPIs you need in there.
All your information and
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
All good?
Yeah.
Welcome, Sandra. Welcome to the
Thank you.
company.
Chocolates would have been nice.
Yeah, well, that's something we can write down.
Yeah, you
And
fixed the
communicate.
problem.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you very much, guys.
Ah,
No
thank
worries.
you.